Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to this service of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Amherst, also known as UU Amherst. We are so glad that you have chosen to spend this time with us. We know you have lots of options and obligations on a Sunday, and we are grateful that you're spending some of your time here with us. My name is Diana Connolly. I am the substitute worship associate for this morning. I've been a member since 2010, and today I'm just going to shout out. I'm thrilled that my graduate school daughter, Tate, who's one of our young adults, is joining our service. My job, my job is supporting you as you experience a Sunday morning with our church. Our minister, Reverend Michelle, is out of the pulpit today. So the service is being offered by our amazing Director of Faith Development, Katie Cosgrove. For those who are here in the chapel, please place your phones on airplane mode or completely off. I know that's scary, and I sometimes don't do that because I like to take pictures, but make sure that you give us the bandwidth because we have kind of wobbly Wi-Fi here. And we want the people who are online, hey y'all, to be able to see everything that we're doing. We also have assisted hearing devices at the usher station in the back. And if at any time you are feeling chilly because it was warm yesterday and now it's gotten cold again, so our bodies may be confused, there's a basket of warm blankets in the back and you can get up at any time your body calls you to get up, grab a blanket, and take care of yourself. It's okay. We're cool with that. If you're new to Unitarian Universalism or to this particular congregation, take a breath with us. Relax and participate as fully as you are comfortable. Today's service will offer music, reflection, an opportunity to absorb and send out love in all sorts of different ways. You are welcome to move as we move, or remain seated and still. You will note that uniformity is not a priority for us.
Good morning. I'm Katie Cosgrove, the Director of Faith Development here at UU Amherst. Outside of my work here, I am a death doula and grief worker, specializing in trauma-informed care through relational transitions. This morning, as the robins and the red-winged blackbirds arrive on their migratory patterns to the area, and the sun sets an hour later in our day with daylight savings time started, I'm reminded that we live in constant relationship with the earth and all living beings. And that can be really comforting. I invite you to take a breath as we move into our beloved rituals honoring those relationships.
Each week when we gather, we begin with a land acknowledgement. This is not an empty ritual. In this rite, we recognize that we are stewards of the acres on which our church stands, acres of earth on which our church stands. But more than that, we honor our connection to the Earth Mother and offer our gratitude to the only planet in the universe that creates and sustains us. Just a second, hang on. The exciting part is coming. So we pour this libation to symbolize our commitment to care for this precious home for our spirits, to speak and act on behalf of the earth, and to seek to partner with those who are indigenous to this place, that we and our descendants may also bless and be blessed. Also, when we gather, we light a chalice, which is a cup or vessel that symbolizes Unitarian Universalism and our gathered community. The flame represents the spark that each one of us brings and the warmth and light that we create together. Please join me in our chalice lighting words. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together. Thank you, John.
You know, I tried to trick you all and planned a little flash mob singing extravaganza there, and it got me choked up that you all, whether this is your first time here or you're a long-time comer, stood up side by side so April didn't have to start the song alone. And I have chills, so thank you. And I learned that I can't trick you, so, you know. Today, instead of a reading, I'd like to offer us a meditation. This comes from the Buddhist loving kindness meditation called metta. I invite you to shake some discomfort out, sit comfortably, however that means to you, feeling and appreciating how your body is supported in this moment. If it feels comfortable, you may close your eyes or soften your gaze while taking one intentional breath. We begin by offering some kindness to ourselves. In your mind, repeat these words. May all beings be safe. You can say it out loud, but you can also say it silently. Up to you. There's no wrong answers. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be healthy. And may I and all beings live with ease. Now bring someone to mind that you really care about. A friend, family member, or even a pet. And offer the same wishes to them. May they be safe. May they be peaceful. May they be healthy. May they live with ease. If you are able, bring to mind somebody who you struggle with, maybe you disagree with. Gently offer them, and I invite you to do this in silence. May they be safe. May they be peaceful. May they be healthy. And may they live with ease. And now, finally, let's expand our wish outward to the ends of this earth, to all beings, all species, all creatures everywhere. And I invite you to repeat this one out loud. May all beings be safe. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings live with ease. Take one more slow breath, and when you're ready, gently return your attention back to the room.
It is our custom in this time of the service to acknowledge the joys, concerns, sorrows, and other realities that we bring with us when we come here, affirming that every single bit of us, every single bit of who we are, can be held in this container of love. We embody this by placing a stone or shell or bead or one of the things that's up here on our shared table labyrinth. We have one big labyrinth and we have another labyrinth in the back. So this is your invitation to bring your whole self here. And so I invite you to come forward or to the back as we listen to the beautiful music and we share.
And finally, I place a stone or shell or bead for our online community, for your joys, sorrows, gifts, and needs. You are also embraced here. Our next song will be Spirit of Life. Hopefully we all know it enough, and the lyrics will be up on the screens. It's Wonderbox time. Can all my friends who would like to listen to a story come up to the front of the rug? Quinn has been waiting for this moment all morning, staring at me from the middle of the aisle. I have to open it. It's kind of messy in here. Hi, friends. Come on in. So somebody told me there was something for me in the Wonderbox today. So let us take a look. First, Miss Katie's going to fix her mic. Can we all hear me? Okay. Perfect. So, who wants to see what's in here?
Me.
Yeah? Okay, we got one yes. What? Who left me dirt? Did you leave me dirt? No. Did you leave me dirt?
No.
Miss Molly, did you leave me dirt? Molly did leave me dirt. I knew it. You know, this is real dirt. Can you see it?
Yeah, can I touch it?
Yes, just don't open or else we'll have a disaster like if you can't see, I have dirt already on my pants. Didn't even secure the dirt myself. Whoa, maybe Lily wants to play with that. Here, go get the dirt. So this reminds me of a story.
What is it called?
The story, good question, Quinn. The story doesn't have a name, but it starts a long time ago with a man named Muhammad. Now, this man was traveling on a great journey called the pilgrimage. Hi. And he was praying every day. And if you don't know what praying means, it means he was walking around trying to commune with something, trying to communicate with something that would make him feel better. And he worked really hard at this. Every single day he took the same path.
See, why does he have to feel better? Or did something sad happen?
Nothing sad happened to him directly, but he just wanted something different for the world. So he walked the same path. And every day at the same spot, there was a woman. And the woman threw dirt on our friend Muhammad. And the dirt got his clothes all dirty. He was wearing all white. Oh no! Just like my pants right here, see? But a lot more than that. And every day, our friend Muhammad just kept walking, just like that. He didn't send any ill wishes to the woman. He didn't respond back. He simply said, "So it be," sent her love, and kept going. And every day the woman continued until one day she wasn't there. And he looked down and he was like, wait, there's no dirt on me. Where's the woman with the dirt? I've been waiting for her. So we went and he checked on her. And he asked a neighbor, what happened to the woman who throws dirt every day? And the neighbor said, oh, she fell sick. She's ill at her house. So our friend Muhammad went to visit her. And when he came in, she said, oh no, you're here to yell at me. You're gonna be so mean to me. I've been throwing dirt at you every day, and now I'm so weak and I'm in bed and I don't feel good. And Muhammad said, I'm here to give you love. I noticed that you weren't on my path today, so I came to check on you. That's nice, isn't it? Would you be mad if somebody threw dirt at you? Yeah, right? Abby, would you be mad if someone threw dirt at you? A little bit, right, yeah. So it takes a lot of strength and courage to still love somebody, even if that they've done something mean to us. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I like to layer it here. So, as we travel to faith development today with our friends or stay in service, I want you to think about that when you're playing and hanging out with Miss Molly or Miss Kyla. It's almost playtime. I want you to think about if a toy gets stolen or a tower gets destroyed or your fake breakfast to Miss Molly gets splattered all over the table. Try breathing in a little love like our friend Muhammad, okay? Okay. Our kids are ready to travel, so let us sing them to faith development. Bye, friends. This morning, our centering song will be Love Will Guide Us. If you'd like to sing along or follow along, you can find it in the gray hymnal, number 131. Rick, could you play a little bit of the first of the melody to get us going?
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from home to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you cannot sing like angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night.
I'd like to start with something that most of us have seen in some fashion or another, mostly on social media. And it looks like this. If you disagree with me, just unfriend me right now. Social media has made that sentiment almost casual. And if, in case you're unfamiliar with Facebook, unfriending means that you once connected with somebody and now you're choosing, if you can see the screen, there's a button that you press, click unfriend. so you will no longer see their posts or updates. A few clicks, and someone disappears from our feed, from our awareness, from our circle. Now, sometimes that is necessary. Boundaries are real. Mental health and mental peace is real and very important. And it's just social media. Who cares? But I've been thinking a lot about lately about what happens when the instinct to, quote, unfriend somebody becomes our default, and not only on social media. What happens when disagreement becomes complete disconnection, not just online, but in our society as a whole, our smaller communities, and sometimes, ultimately, our biological or chosen families. When we disagree on really anything, but especially fundamental ideals tied to our individual worldview and morality, the easiest response is to simply step away. Unfriend, delete, mute, block. No longer speak to them, no longer keep them in our lives, no longer have them in our circle. But what if our Unitarian Universalist values invite us to ask ourselves, what happens if we stay in relationship with them? And what happens if we don't? One of the things I learned recently in our latest New to UU class is that becoming a member of a UU congregation isn't just about saying yes to a community or choosing to agree to live by the set of our values. It's about entering into covenant with one another. And covenant is very different from a contract. Contract says, if you do this, then I will do this, or this will happen. A covenant says, we promise to keep showing up for one another if we are able, even when things become difficult. Now, as Reverend Michelle explained in that class, part of that covenant is the commitment to repair. When conflict happens, and it will, I mean, we're messy humans, or humans are messy, not this room. We simply don't disappear, avoid each other, or quietly drift away. Our covenant calls us back into relationship with one another. It invites us to practice restorative work, listening, asking questions, speaking honestly, and trying to mend what has been strained. Not because it's easy, and not because we will always agree, but because community itself is sacred enough to repair. And that repair, that small practice, is actually an everyday example of what we're talking about today. In a world that often encourages us to unfriend, covenant asks something different. Covenant asks us to pause before walking away. It asks us to remain curious about one another. It asks us to remember that the people sitting beside us, even when we disagree, are still people and still part of the world and the circle that we promise to care for and love together. Now, there might be some feelings. I feel it. Katie, what are you telling us to do here? I want to be clear about what I'm talking about today for the rest of this reflection. We hold many relationships in our lives. Some of us are siblings, parents, bosses, children, partners, customers, too many relationships and identities to name them all. And the deeper the well of care for a person, the harder that unfriend button is to click. For those of you who do not see the slide, it shows an image of 3 circles within one another. In the center, we have the smallest circle, in red, labeled inner circle. This is where our closest and dearest relationships are: family, partnerships, friends. Next, we have our middle circle, medium-sized circle in yellow. Think of these relationships as more acquaintances. Maybe it's your substitute calculus teacher from 12th grade, or that really cool accountant you used to work with that liked UFOs, or your usual teller at the bank. And then the largest circle in green is the outer circle. These are complete strangers. Today, I would invite us all to think about the people in our lives in the yellow circle and strangers in the green outer circle. These relationships make it a bit easier to imagine the concept of choosing to understand rather than to be understood. So I return back to our question: do Unitarian Universalist values challenge us to stay connected to people who don't share our morals, values, and ideals? There's a story that has stayed with me for a long time since I heard it, and quite often pops up for me. I actually had a different topic picked out for today's service, not too dissimilar, but not as boat rocky. And after I heard this man speak, I changed my whole service. This picture is a man, Rais Bhuiyan, the founder of A World Without Hate, and he spoke at last month's Network of Religious Communities dinner. I'm going to provide a short snapshot of Rais's incredible story here today, but his story is often intense, so I invite you to focus on your breath if it at all feels overwhelming, and do what your body and your mind need. Rais, a Bangladeshi man, was working as a convenience store clerk while he was studying engineering in 2001 in Texas. Days after the attacks of September 11th, a man driven by hate and terror walked into the gas station where Rais was working and shot him in the face at close range. He assumed Rais was Muslim. Rais survived, and 2 other clerks at different stores did not. Mark Stroman, the shooter, was convicted and put on death row. Years later, Rais decided he could not live by just forgiving Mark for his actions, which he had done a long time before that. He needed to live in according to his core beliefs, which meant advocating for Mark to be removed from death row and his life be spared. He spoke publicly about forgiveness. He created an advocacy team. He wanted everyone to know that refusing to let hate be the final word will be more powerful. He fought in courts with an extensive legal team. And through Rais's forgiveness and then support and advocacy, Mark and Rais became close friends. Rais believed that his and Mark's story could change lives and truly reduce the hate in this world. And upon what ended being Mark's final days, Mark asked Rais, above all, to keep spreading love and to keep showing people the hate and vengeance are not answers to hate of this world. That division will only create more division. That's hard to do. Part of what makes stories and moments like this so powerful is that they reveal something about how we naturally respond to pain as humans. Typically, there's a trigger, causes discomfort, becomes anger, and we take action. Our brains are wired for it. When we become triggered, our brain goes into fight and flight mode when our amygdala starts firing. And in that time, it is impossible to think logically or access any other part of our brain at the time. When or if we react in that situation, we do an action, a surge of dopamine can rush in, feeling like we've just won an argument or defended ourselves. And that reaction is fast, like a lightning bolt. And frankly, it can feel very satisfying. But response takes a breath. Response requires a pause between the stimulus and action. And in that pause, both listening and curiosity can become possible. On this slide, I picture a lightning bolt as a reaction, something quick in the right conditions, and then a filter. And this filter image has stuck with me because it reminds me of the Buddhist practice called Kong Len, where, in very simplified, non-ritualistic terms, you breathe in the pain that you're seeing or feeling or witnessing or holding. You breathe it in. Typically, we are told to breathe in peace and love. But this way, you breathe it in and you use your body and your beliefs and your love as a vessel, as a conduit to filter that out and infuse that with love and then breathe it out into the world. Now let me be honest about something. Curiosity does not give us the same dopamine hit that reaction does. My, oh my, have I sent plenty of Facebook comments that I've later deleted when I realized that I don't actually feel great about that. Curiosity is slower. It often feels very uncomfortable and harder to do and definitely unsatisfying. Sometimes even asking a curious or clarifying question in response to something that triggered us can have us gritting our teeth as we ask it. But curiosity opens a door that reaction does not. Instead of, you're wrong, curiosity asks, how did you come to believe that? Instead of, I need you to understand me and all of the reasons why you're wrong, curiosity asks, can I understand you? This is the phrase for the sermon today that I've been holding on to lately. Choosing to understand rather than being understood. And it is much harder than it sounds. Because sitting with discomfort is not something most of us enjoy. But I read an article a few months ago that Reverend Michelle passed along to me for faith development, and it's this concept of anti-fragility. If you kept up on the faith development section in the monthly newsletter, the foreword, hint, it's not just for families, please read it. You may already know about this study that I'm referencing. Biologists enacted an experiment to try to create a biome, a living and sustainable ecosystem within a dome with no outside variables. And they noticed this peculiar thing, that the trees were growing to a certain height, let's say 12 feet, and at 12 feet, they would start to fall. They'd get really weak and die. And they found out that it's because there's no wind in a dome. They realized that the wind, the resistance against the tree, causes the tree to send signals down to its roots so that the roots can grow deeper and expand their network under the ground. And in turn, the roots send signals up back to the tree to provide more nutrients so the trees can grow stronger and taller. Oh, speaking of taller, can't balance on one foot up here. So we learn through that trees can grow, that the trees that grow without destructive or intense conditions, such as wind, develop shallow roots and don't live as long. And the trees that grow where the wind blows send their roots deeper. The resistance strengthens them over time. This idea is called anti-fragility, not avoiding or just surviving stress, but growing because of it as a response. And I wonder if the same might be true for humans. Maybe the discomfort we feel when encountering someone who thinks differently is not always a signal to escape or daydream about a utopia with everyone who agrees with me. Maybe sometimes it is the wind helping our roots grow and helping humanity grow wider and stronger together. So with this anti-fragility piece in mind and the courage that is so palpable in Rais's story, let us revisit this question. Does our value of love ask us or challenge us to stay in relationship or connection with those who do not share the same morals and beliefs as us? So after reflecting on Rais's stories for weeks, I kept seeing more and more unfriend me posts all across social media and receiving pressure to do the same. I heard more and more stories about severed relationships. Oh, that person's no longer in my life. And I realized something about myself. And I'll admit this comes out a bit controversial, and that this is Katie speaking, not DFD Katie, not Miss Katie. Cover up my name tag. I don't have to respect someone to love them. I told you it was controversial. I don't have to respect someone to love them. Love to me is not unconditional acceptance or tolerance of every piece of someone, their actions, their beliefs, and more. Love is what we saw earlier in this service. Love is Muhammad blessing a woman who threw dirt on him every single day as he prayed. Love is that woman embracing Muhammad right back. Love is wishing all of our friends and enemies at peace. Love is Rais Bhuiyan committing to try to save Mark's life and end a cycle of violence and vengeance. Love is Mark living his last days with hope to change at least just one person's mind that hate is not the right answer. Love is seeing past division and either allowing one on their way without harm or ill wishes, or engaging with them in an attempt to understand them a little bit better than you did before. And if loving someone feels too tough right now, maybe we can start with the phrase or idea of sending someone love. Feels a bit easier, at least for me. Now, none of this means that we need to tolerate harm. This act of unconditional love certainly does not encourage putting yourself in the most hurtful situations or conversations possible, or enabling harm. You still have the power to walk away. I'm simply offering that when you're able and have the opportunity to calmly start by asking one question. I'm curious about that. Could you tell me more? Not, why do you believe that? Or what in the world made you think that way? That's where the gritting the teeth comes in. Again, it does not mean that we need to engage every argument or every person who disagrees with us that we encounter. Sometimes recognizing this one is not for me to handle can be the best response. And we move along, sending out love. And there are tools that can help us slow down before that reaction, that lightning bolt takes over. So after Race's speech at the NRC dinner, I had to ask him a question. I actually don't like asking questions in public situations, but he was like, oh, anyone have any questions? In a room of, 200 people, with the lightning bolt went off, and I raised my hand and then quickly regretted it until the president of the NRC shouted, Katie has a question. So I had to ask it. Thank you. But it was good that I asked it, because I asked, when you feel the urge for hate, vengeance, judgment, and the urge to want to be understood, how in the world do you choose to be curious instead? Is there anything you can do to remind yourself and help yourself choose love in those hard moments? And Ray smiled, and his answer was simple, and it's helped me in many situations since I heard it. Imagine carrying a little zipper in your pocket. Who has a pocket today? Raise your hand. At home? I know you're wearing pockets. Imagine there's a little zipper in there. And when you feel the urge to react, reach for it, literally. Just be like, oh, gotta get my zipper. Reach your hand in your pocket and breathe. Now, I don't recommend doing this physically, but then pull out your zipper from your pocket and zip your mouth. Some people might take that as a sign to not engage with you. But pretend to do it. Think about it. Think about a zipper, closing your mouth, and take a breath. And find that regulation. Find that love. Might be buried deep in that moment, but it's there. And that's why we talked about those circles, because that middle circle and that outer circle, it's a little bit easier. There's a little less barriers and layers to cut through to find that love in that moment. And sometimes the most powerful spiritual practice available to us is simply pausing. It's pausing long enough to react, to respond, instead of react. Breathing long enough to remember who we want to be and how we want to show up in that moment. Now, it's easy to idolize Rais or put him on a pedestal after hearing his incredible story and mission. It's easy and natural to look at his story and say, oh, that's extraordinary, or he's superhuman. That's not something I could ever do. But here's the thing. Rais is not a superhero. He's a person. And I pulled this picture off his website because I wanted you to see him not on a stage, not in a suit, not with a slide deck behind him or a PowerPoint behind him, but in a t-shirt, serving food, smiling. He is a person who made a choice to center forgiveness, even when it would have been easier to center anger, and work for love instead of hate. Maybe that's the uncomfortable truth inside of his story. Not that he's superhuman, but that he has the capacity to do that and demonstrates that that capacity lives inside of all of us. So before we close today, I want to say something clearly. I'm purposely leaving this service a little undone. Not wrapped up neatly with a bow. Don't worry, there's chili after. That'll help. But because the questions that we're touching today don't have simple answers, and they're different for all of us. And maybe the most honest thing we can do together today is to leave a little room for contemplation, and maybe a little room for what made us uncomfortable today. I'd like to invite you, those sitting in this room and those online, to notice what this conversation stirred in your body. Maybe curiosity, resistance, grief or frustration, maybe hope. Then take a breath where you find resistance. And see if you can infuse whatever that feeling is, whatever that trigger was, whatever that stimulus brought it on, with love, however that looks to you. What would our circles like and the world look like if every single one of us in this room, every single one of us watching online, lived the rest of our days with love truly at the center of all we do, no matter what? I don't know the answer. And maybe that's the work. And maybe we get there side by side.
Love is but a song we sing, fear's the way we die. You can make the mountains ring, or make angels cry. Though the dove is on the wing, you may not know why. Come on, try. Some may come and some may go. We will surely pass till the ones who left us here return for us at last. We are but a moment's sunlight fading on the grass.
Wow, great music, great sermon, reflection, whatever we call it. Oh, isn't what we have here at UU Amherst very special? Yes. You know, it can be hard to find a community of thoughtful and caring people who are welcoming and inclusive, and we hope that you found that here. Now's the time for the offering, and whether you give online, through automatic bank withdrawals like our family does, or randomly with the cash in your pocket, we're grateful. Folks who are participating online, we hope that you can give your gift to the number on the screen, or you can go to the website. So our offering will now be gratefully received. That's what I always do. You want to do it? No. Yes, he usually does. Thank you, Rick. We began our service with the lighting of our chalice, and now we extinguish the chalice. But remember, we're not quenching the flame entirely. We're returning it to our individual hearts, strengthened by this time together so that we can share our light in the world. Please join your voices with mine. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment. These we share with the heart until we are together again. Thank you. As our service draws to an end, our service is ready to begin out in the world. You'll find many opportunities for growth and service in your order of service and on our website. Please note that Dr. Rais Bhuiyan, there we go, story, some of which we heard earlier today, is featured on his documentary Pain and Peace, and there's a link on our order of service, as well as more about his mission and the work at World Without Hate. Next week, I will be giving the sermon, so you're going to be stuck with me again. And it's going to be called Paying Attention, the Practice of Covenantal Love. But don't skip it. Don't think it's another covenant exploring thing. Because you know what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be bringing back my lawyer part, and I'm going to be talking about the recent decision that the Attorney General said issued with Buffalo Public Schools. And I'm going to be bringing some law and things like that and what we can learn about law and restorative practices in schools and how that can inform our covenant. So I'll be lawyering. There'll be footnotes and citations. I know some of you like that, and then some of you don't. It'll be fast. And all are invited to stay for our chili cook-off, as well as the coffee and conversation in the Emerson room, just through the double doors at the back of the chapel. There's reserved seating at the back with families at the window, with the kid-friendly activities, and if you're feeling kiddish, you can go back and visit for a little bit. And now, can everybody please rise in body or spirit as we sing our closing blessing? And don't forget, we twinkle our eyes at each other and share smiles in the third verse, and then remain standing for the benediction after our song.
Twinkle those eyes. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be healthy. And may all beings live with ease. Go forth with love.